The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Welcome to Alabama Politics. This week I am Dale Jackson. I'm a radio talk show host, and you can hear my shows Monday through Friday from 5 to 9 a.m. on WVNN in Huntsville. You can also hear it from 6 to 7 p.m. On the Ump in Huntsville, and then down in Birmingham from 10 until 11. It's the fastest hour of radio you're going to find anywhere on your radio dial. I am all over the place, and you can't get away from me. With me, as always, someone I can't get away from, Mecca Music at 256today.com. She is the CEO, and she is very busy, and we've got a lot to talk about today. Grayson Everett will join us. He is the politics editor of YellowhammerNews.com. We'll speak with him about a couple of things that are going on down there in the legislature, but we'll get to those as well, and then I'll have a parting shot for you. Right now, though, let's go ahead and get to the 2-minute warning. All right, border deal. I think this is something we have to talk about here. But anyone that thought there was going to be anything close to a border deal going on in Washington, D.C. has not been paying attention. I've been on the radio since about 2005, and I remember the Gang of Eight deal. I have people reminding me every day that Marco Rubio was part of that deal, and now he is someone who doesn't want to make a deal on these things. Nobody wants to make a deal on these things. They're just trying to figure out a way to make themselves look as good as possible. On the left, you're getting the conversation that, we just want to close the border. Why does Donald Trump want it open when for 3 years they've been saying, hey, it's border's perfectly fine and closed. And on the right, they're saying, let's actually close the border, but they don't want to deal with the other foreign aid parts, and they are not happy with the deal that was cut. Mecca, I don't even know if a deal's possible here.
Okay.
I laid out the reasons why, but I just don't think a deal's even possible.
It's looking more and more like that. And you said they want to look as good as possible. I would argue they just want to make the other side look as bad as possible, because what we have now is an election year where they can both point to the other side and say, hey, they did this, hey, they did that, without really taking any responsibility for not doing any sort of reform.
Okay, so Joe Biden stands up earlier this week, looks into the camera, squints like this, like he's trying to read as hard as he can, and says, the Republicans and Donald Trump and his MAGA friends, they're responsible for the border being open. Then nobody believes that. It sounds so.
If you're on that side, you believe it. And if you're on the other side, you believe it.
Joe Biden doesn't know what he's saying, but he knows that's not true. And I'll just tell you, if that might be the most blatant lie I think I've heard in American politics. And by the way, we had 4 years of Donald Trump as president, and that still might be the most blatant lie. That should have got 1 million Pinocchios at the Washington Post. They didn't even cover it. Okay, so there's a question here about just believability. No one's going to believe.
But don't ignore the politics of the
Republicans
situation.
have been very clear on this. We want an immigration deal. Then they had this conversation. They didn't get everything they wanted. They walked away from it. But it wasn't because they were like, we want this for politics. It's because the deal wasn't what they wanted it to be. They weren't willing to give enough. And that's how it works. Nobody blinked.
Okay.
Neither side blinked on this.
But it's also good for both sides for there to be no deal in place.
I don't know about that. Just think about this. If the media is saying to you, hey, the Republicans are doing this because of politics, what does that tell you? They think it's good for them politically. And that's basically the gist of it. And I think it is good for them.
They both think it's good for them politically.
I don't know. The Democrats gave more than they've ever given on this.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Exactly.
So what that means is they view, it's clear they view it as a position of weakness. They gave up.
But now they can say that was the headline. Trump and
no one's going to buy that part.
I'm telling you, those sides will buy that, and the other sides buy that.
I can show you 3 years of Joe Biden saying the border's secure, the border's secure, the border's secure, and then one day he comes out and goes, border's not secure, Republicans' fault. It's the guy who was here 3 years ago. No one's buying that. But I just don't think a deal's possible.
I will agree with you on that.
We're in a situation where the president handles immigration enforcement with executive power, and that's the only way it's ever going to get done. Let's move on. Let's talk about school choice. There is a deal possible here. I think it is very possible. And I think we're closer here in the state of Alabama than we've ever been to school choice, because obviously we are. There's no question about that. The bill that has been offered up in the most recent version, $7,000 for people who go to a private school, $2,000 for homeschoolers. They're tax credits, not a direct check. The testing and accreditation process is basically the one that's already in place. that already oversees some of these schools. Nothing crazy there. And there's an auditing process for the actual people who take the education savings account tax credit, not the schools. I think that's going to help get over a hump. And there's a phase-in program for 3 years. Now, I learned something else here this week that hasn't really been talked about all that much. When there's a $100 million cap on this, and so this cap exists, and what's going to happen is everyone's going to go to private school and do all these things, and they're going to submit, once this is all free and clear, for their tax credit. And then the state is going to say, okay, let's do it by income. So people like Mecca, they're not going to qualify because she's got the super high income there. And people like me, the average working Joe, I'm be right there on the bottom, going to qualify. But Mecca, that all of this, I think they have got this to the point where it's very possible.
Oh, that's what I was curious
Above
about.
average.
Okay, but let's talk a little bit about Dale Jackson school choice history. You have been talking about this for years.
I drive the conversation.
Years.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah, that might be a little generous, but why is this? What were the key points that made this different and more possible this time?
There's a hurricane taking place, and it's about to run into a tornado.
Okay.
The hurricane that's
tornado.
taking place is all this stuff that's gone on in schools in the recent years. You have all these different issues that are bubbling up. Race, sex, gender, all these things. Because sex and gender are different, we're told over and over and over again. And then on this other side, you just have general anger. And they're coming together, and you're getting like a Sharknado event or it wouldn't actually be a Sharknado, but you get what I'm saying.
I get it.
You're
I'm
getting a
following.
big event coming together all at the same time. And all this stuff is the perfect time to strike on this. And they have done a very good job of making the argument. They've crafted a bill that I think is easily defendable. So, yeah.
Okay, so what's the opposition? Where's the opposition?
The opposition is basically this. You're trying to kill public schools. To which people go, yeah, kind of. I mean, here's the thing you don't hear. If I was a Democrat and wanted to kill this, if I was the AA and wanted to kill this, I would say, look at our public schools. Look how good they are. Oh, you can't make that argument. There is no argument that you can make other than they're trying to murder your public schools. There are good public schools, not trying to argue that. But on a whole, you cannot make the argument that the work product is positive. We've got kids that are going to be held back in a massive way because of the literacy test because they can't read in the 3rd grade.
There were COVID implications.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
They couldn't read before that.
I'm just
okay.
letting you know.
And when those kids finally figure out to read and learn what COVID is, they're going to be really upset. Okay. Because at this point in time, that's the problem here. Okay. They're just they can't defend the work product, so they can't argue the bill.
Okay, so what about AEA opposition?
Yeah, they're coming, and they're gonna. I think they're gonna get ran over here.
Okay.
This is going to be a big loss for them, I think. I think there's a good chance this passes. We're way late in this. Let's move on. Now, let's talk about gambling here for a second. I was told this week that in the House, it's a done deal. They got it. 10 new casinos all over the state. I say new, and I'm lying to you because they're not new because it's protectionism. It's basically saying to all the people that have already been breaking the law, it's like, hey, how would you like to go legit? Okay? And then they're going to let them do that. And they're going to hand those casinos over to people that have already been doing some shady stuff. It's going to happen in different places around the state. There's going to be a lottery. There's going to be sports betting. There's going to be a new agency that's going to shut down all their competition. That's some nice protectionism for you as well. They could totally shut down.
Other illegal operators,
Yeah.
but not the legal operators that we're in.
You got to remember, these guys are now going legit. Okay, they're now legit. So now they want them to go after the bad guys. So they're going to protect them, and they're going to make all this happen. I don't think they have it here. It's going to be close. The polling numbers are great. If you looked at this, the polling numbers look fantastic.
For voters?
For voters.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But you're saying it's going to get through.
Casino gaming.
Oh,
There was a question about casino gaming, and I think that question has been answered.
No, I somewhat agree. I think there will be opposition. There would be more so opposition to casino gaming in your area, where you are, and things like that. But talk to me. You think it's going to get out of the legislature?
I think it's very possible that it gets out of the legislature. And here's the thing, and we always talk about this. If it gets to the people, it's going to succeed. And the reason it's going to succeed if it gets to people is there's something for everything.
Yeah.
You know, the education trust fund gets this. The general fund gets this. You get lottery. You get sports bet. Everyone gets something. Is there something else in it that's going to make you mad enough to want to kill this? Well, if you're an average human being, no. If you're a legislator playing ball with these other people, then yes, you're going to have some problems here. But if it gets through, it's law. It's got a chance to get through. It's going to have to be some changes coming to this thing. But 10 casinos, what does it say, $1 billion, I believe it is? And the tax rate's hilarious. when they talk about the tax rate, they don't say like how much money has to be profited from these casinos. I did the math. It's about $5.6 billion a year in casino profits to get $1 billion a year in taxes. That $5.6 billion, where's it coming from?
Where is it coming from?
It's coming from the pocket of people who live in Alabama who would spend that money on something else.
And why is that? Because it's not a destination.
I'm going to Dothan. I mean, I love Dothan. Don't get me wrong.
There's that, but hey, really quick, I know we're going long on this one too.
Way long.
What about opposition to this? Alpha's against it.
Why? Did they decide that when they were at their casino junket in Las Vegas? I mean, they may be against it.
But listen, they are still a power player in the state, and if they are against it, there is no way this is a done deal.
If you ask me, is it going to pass on 49-51? No. Which is closer than it's ever been. It's got to get out of the legislature. I don't think it does. All right, we're going to spend very little time on this next one.
Sorry.
All right, because we are way late. Nick Saban's going to ESPN, and I think this is fantastic. We're still going to be able to see him, get some insight. And this is the thing I'm looking forward to with Nick Saban on ESPN. I want to see some stuff you're normally not going to see. You've never seen him on there talking about other games, except in like national championships and stuff like this. Now you're going to see what he thinks about Jacksonville State. You're going to read what he thinks about, or you're going to see what he thinks about all sorts of different things and how his mind works when it comes to games that are not, blowouts that he's running the show on. And the part that I think is interesting here is this also signifies a couple of things. ESPN, I think, is very desperate right now because I'm dead serious. They just landed a big name. They're about to get on a streaming service with Warner Brothers and all these other people. They're stockpiling right now, people.
Okay, I don't have time to address that part. I have 2 points to make. Okay, so the number one point is, he's going to have to be nice. I mean, he's not very media friendly. So I'm an Alabama fan.
Yeah.
I love Nick Saban. He's going to have to be a little nicer. Although, I mean,
he's charming.
Anybody would watch him anyway, just for that.
Charming.
Here's the hilarious point that from an Alabama fan I got. They were very unhappy about this. They likened it to, that's your ex-girlfriend that broke up with you. And, you're on friendly terms, but now you're going to have to see them every Saturday morning and just be mad that they're not with you.
Does that happen? I've never been on that side of the equation, so I don't know.
But I can see a lot of Alabama fans feeling that way.
I don't know why. He's 70-something years old. He wasn't going to coach forever.
But if he has time for this, why can't
0%.
he still be our girlfriend?
They need help. They're still not over some girlfriend or something. But that is not how people are going to view this. It's a great fit. It's an absolute great fit. And I'm
looking forward to it.
Look, I'm a Gator fan. All right, I'm just glad Nick Saban's
You're the worst.
Okay,
You're the worst.
But I do want to see him there. I think he's going to be a good fit. College game day, all those things he's going to be doing. Perfect. I think it's going to be fantastic. This is fantastic as well. We are way late here, so let's take a quick break here. Coming up next, Grayson Everett will be with us. He's the politics editor of YellowHammerNews.com. Stay tuned.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at PremierDentalSpa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom, Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improve range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Even if you've tried before and were unsuccessful in getting rid of your timeshare, call today and see if we can help. We offer a complete 100% unconditional client satisfaction guarantee. Make this completely free call and learn how we can help you legally put an end to your timeshare nightmare once and for all. You have nothing to lose, so call right now to qualify and receive a free consultation. You can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, but you've got to call now. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
Recover Now is a national campaign aimed at the education and awareness of the devastating effects of opioid and heroin abuse and curbing drug and alcohol addiction in the United States. Recover Now is sponsored by treatment facilities nationwide. Many of them have been where you are, and they want to help by spreading a message of hope and recovery. They're working hand in hand with major insurance companies nationwide that can help you or a loved one get clean in 7 to 30 days. Recover Now is embarking on a national outreach campaign on TV and radio to promote anti-addiction messages. So if you, a loved one, or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, do not wait. A new life for you could be 30 days away. Call us right now. I promise this call can change your life. Sponsored by the Detox and Treatment Helpline.
Call 855-723-6903.
Well, welcome back to Alabama Politics This Week. I am Dale Jackson. With me, as always, Mecca Music. And our guest this week, Grayson Everett. He is the politics editor at YellowHammerNews.com, and we're thrilled to have him here because he's been down there for the first week talking to people in Montgomery, and there's a lot going on there. Now, Grayson, let's just get right to it. Mecca and I have been talking about school choice and gambling here. And look, school choice has more momentum, obviously. I mean, this is kind of a simplistic take here, but it's obviously moving in the right direction. The question here is, and I saw someone raise this the other day, they raised questions about the auditing part of it. That's what they want. $7,000, yes, we get it for private school. $2,000 for homeschooling. And then there's like this auditing part of it that some legislators have taken issue with. Is it that big of a deal? Have they been able to calm the fears on that? They thought it was auditing for a private school. It's not that. They're still going to stay out of it. Have they calmed the fears there?
Thanks for having me. First of all, it has been an exciting week. Lawmakers seem really ready to get to work. There's less kind of fanfare now that this is the second year of the quadrennium. On that point, though, I mean, I'm not sure how much y'all have discussed it so far, but this proposal being backed by both the budget chairs as well as leadership in both chambers really is, I think going to move through the process in a collaborative way, because you've got lawmakers in both chambers that have been looking at school choice really closely for years. They look at systems in other states. There were a number of pieces introduced last session with vocal advocates in both chambers who I think are really going to get their chance through the committee process on the floor and what takes place outside of the State House, which is communicating like lawmakers do, to really get some of these points across. So, even though it really does have an extensive deck of support from the people, who are calling the shots, it will go through the ringer. And I think that it is not final. We're not looking at what exactly is shaken out because there are people who care so much about school choice and have been looking at it so closely.
Everett, Grayson, let me ask you a little bit about the opposition to school choice, however. Can we expect organized opposition, vocal opposition, as this moves forward?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, the AEA is, very, very clear on this all throughout. The House Minority Caucus held their kind of vision and press conference yesterday. They're very opposed. But, again, now the second year of the quadrennium, you've really got a lot of Republicans closer on the same page, particularly on this issue. So, as always, there will be, opposition to this, but this really does seem like the year where they get it right, and those who are saying no expansion of school choice whatsoever are going to be completely drowned out.
All right, let me ask you two questions here. The AEA is a big player here, obviously, and AEA Republicans exist. So has the AEA come up with a counter proposal that they're going to put out here? Do they have an answer to this yet?
I'm not completely sure. I'm not sure what their leverage or what their bargaining is in terms of policy.
Okay,
specific.
all right. So the AEA Republicans, will we see AEA Republicans, people who took AEA money, vote for this?
I think, again, as it moves through the committee process, it really just is down to the wire, to the point that those who really make, their platform and what they say to constituents contingent on a really strong school choice bill. I really do think that, what you call AEA Republicans, are going to have to be extremely specific and transparent. So we'll see. We will certainly see how they put their cards down, but it will definitely get specific as time goes on.
They're under the gun, no question about it. They'll be interesting to see them watch. All right, gambling, real quick. Let's talk about this 10 casinos, sports betting, lottery, enforcement mechanisms, and then a whole load of protectionism. There's a lot of it. Hey, we're legit casinos now. Go get those other guys. That seems to be what we're looking at. Can that get through the legislature?
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. I mean, to kind of lead off on with the timeline, of course, this is starting in the House. Representative Witt, Representative Chris Blackshear, and Representative Sam Jones had their press conference yesterday where they really rolled out a lot of the broad strokes. The bill is out now, so specifics are available at this moment. It was just a couple of hours ago. As far as the timeline, I mean, this really will be front-loaded. This could be as early as next week in the House. So the larger tone of the session may not be defined by gaming. There's so many other things that will come up, but it is very interesting. I think lawmakers are just now, with the timing of this show, getting their head around the specifics. We'll be seeing a lot more of it. But, and Representative Witt kind of made the point that right now the status of gaming in the state of Alabama, as it relates to legal operations, gaming is so illegal that, we can't even get our heads around it without a regulatory framework to be able to address it. So a lot of the folks that are pushing this are saying, let's get a system in place to be able to think about it in some way. So, the opposition to that idea really is just now putting together and formulating what specifically is going to be the breakdown in the process.
Grayson, let me go a little bit you were at the State of the State, correct, with Governor Ivey. Now, the school choice and gaming both are gambling. The bill, these were both issues that she championed. What kind of impact do you think that will have as these measures move forward?
Well, this is now the third sort of serious push for some degree of a comprehensive gaming package, which includes casino gaming, lottery to benefit education. Of course, up in the Senate, Senator Greg Alpert has brought things. Chris Blackshear, Representative Blackshear, who's bringing the bill this session, was a part of the effort in 2021. So in terms of, agendas that this is tied to, it happening so early, it's not necessarily going to be, a complete derail of anyone's agenda because there's so much to get to between ethics reform and, again, school choice, the budgets eventually. The Senate is taking up ballot harvesting right now as well.
Right. Well, as we wrap up here, just last question here. Kay Ivey, is she going to get out there and fight for this? Is she going to shamble across the street and fight for this in the Capitol or in the legislature?
I'm not sure. It's starting in the House. The temperature has not been as well measured in the Senate. It's yet to be seen about Ivey, and we can't legally place bets right now, so I'm not going to call the shot.
Okay, there we go. Thanks a lot, Grayson Everett. Thank you very much. YellowHammerNews.com political editor. We appreciate him coming on the program there. He's got a good look at what's going on there, so we'll definitely get him on a few more times before the legislative session ends. Mecca Music also on her way out, so the show gets so much better. Stay tuned. It's Alabama Politics This Week.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom, Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Do you have diabetes? If you have insurance, you may qualify for a new continuous glucose monitor. With a CGM, you can continuously track your levels and trends, spend more time in range, significantly lower your A1C, and share important data with loved ones and caregivers. Most importantly, a CGM eliminates the one thing most people with diabetes hate: painful finger sticks. Take charge of your health. Order your new continuous glucose monitor today. If you use insulin and have seen your diabetes care provider within the last 6 months, you may qualify for a CGM today. We'll do all the insurance paperwork and deliver your new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost to you. Medicare and most insurances cover continuous glucose monitors, so don't wait. Have your insurance handy and call the CGM Health Hotline now.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics This Week. Let's wrap the show up with a parting shot. But before I do, let me tell you about my friends over there at YellowHammerNews.com. And you can check them out. Grayson Everett, our guest, is the politics editor over there. Lots of great stuff happening, covering the legislative session. And you can get my 7 things you should be talking about today emailed directly to your email inbox by going to YellowHammerNews.com, signing up for it. And every single morning, you'll know exactly what you should be talking about today. The 7 things you should be talking about today. Right now, though, let's go ahead and get to that parting shot. You know, it's not every day that I agree with Wandolyn Gavan. She is a Democratic state representative from Birmingham. She is the brilliant state representative who, on the floor of the legislature last session, referred to one of her Republican colleagues, who is also African American, as an N-word. Yeah, this is who she is. She says a lot of ridiculous things and does a lot of ridiculous things. But she has a ridiculous bill that I actually don't have much of a problem with. She is arguing that if Alabama ever allows any exceptions or exemptions for abortions, that the person who is getting an abortion should have it paid for by the person who got them pregnant. I absolutely love this idea. It's a great idea. Make them pay for it or make them get a vasectomy. 100% in, takes 2 to tango, all those things. The thing I wish would happen in situations like this, not that this bill is going to go anywhere, is that somebody would stand up and offer up an amendment that says, that's fine. But if we're going to go this far and tell people they have to do this, if they are part of that pregnancy, then on the flip side, the potential father should have some say in what goes down as well, meaning take over responsibility for that life if they do not want that abortion to take place. That is the counter argument to this kind of ridiculous thing. Not that this bill is going to go anywhere, but if we're going to offer these things up, let's have real conversations about them. Does this ever get a hearing in the legislature? 0% chance. But it's a messaging bill on her part, and if she's going to message on that, others should message the other side of the conversation, and that's what I'd like to see people do. Be more aggressive when people are bringing up ridiculous stuff like this, even if the response is somewhat ridiculous as well. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for watching and listening to Alabama Politics this week. We'll talk to you soon.